The Lakers traded for Anthony Davis.
New Orleans has no interest in acquiescing Anthony Davis to the Lakers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
According to that same Adrian Wojnarowski, the Lakers will send Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks, including the number 4 pick in the 2019 draft that is just days away. Davis fired his agent back in September of 2018 with the intention of hiring Rich Paul of Clutch Sports to represent him. Davis first requested a trade back in January, but according to Rich Paul, they first informed then Pelicans GM Dell Demps on January 25th of Davis's intentions, and Demps responded that he'd confer with Pelicans owner Gail Benson and get back to him. Instead, Paul says that Demps called Davis himself and never got back to Paul. Meanwhile, Woj had already contacted him to confirm Davis's demands. So Dell Demps went behind Rich Paul's back, and I doubt that helped to convince him to stay at all. Then a few weeks later at the trade deadline, the Anthony Davis trade rumors were flying around, and every day it felt like the Lakers were adding someone else to the deal. But at the time, Boston was considered to have the best package to offer. However, they couldn't trade for Davis because of a rule in the CBA that didn't allow Kyrie Irving and Davis to be on the same team with their current contracts. So the Lakers tried desperately to get a deal done before the summer, but they just couldn't. So it looked like AD was Boston's for the taking. But flash forward to today, and AD is now heading to the Lakers. The Celtics still had the best package to offer for Davis, and even in the days before the trade, they were still rumored to be bidding for AD, but all indications were that Kyrie Irving was going to leave in free agency. So sending Jason Tatum and other assets for Davis to join Boston without Kyrie didn't make much sense. And according to Mark Stein, Boston never offered Tatum in a deal with the Pelicans. Plus, in that same SI article with Rich Paul, he said that the Celtics could trade for Anthony Davis, but it would only be for 1 year, that he would play out the final year of his contract and then go into free agency in 2020. There were also numerous reports that the Pelicans wanted to find a third team to try and move the 4th pick for an established player, but they either settled on just selecting someone with that pick or they're going to try and trade it themselves. However, this trade can't officially go down until July 6th, so who knows what's going to happen before then. In this deal, the Pelicans are getting Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, the number 4 pick in 2019, and 2 extra first-round picks, plus potentially a pick swap in the future. So now, the Anthony Davis era is officially over and the Zion era can begin as the main focus for the franchise. Pairing Lonzo with Drew Holiday is going to be an interesting offensive fit, but defensively, they're going to be a nightmare for opposing backcourts. Drew Holiday was 2nd team all-defense this season, and Lonzo has already shown that he has the potential to join him in the future. Plus, Lonzo throwing lobs to Zion next year is going to be unbelievable. Brandon Ingram played terribly next to LeBron, but he had an incredible run from the end of December to early March where he averaged 20 points, 6 boards, 3.5 assists, and shot over 50% from the field. His fit next to Zion offensively will be rough at first, but they're also going to be a great defensive pairing. Between the 4 of them, they should all be able to switch on defense, and if they can add a solid rim protector, they're going to be a devastating defensive squad. Josh Hart is also an awesome complementary role player to add to any backcourt rotation. Plus, the Pelicans now have 2 of the top 4 picks in the 2019 draft. Like I mentioned earlier, it seems like they're shopping the 4th pick, but if they keep it, they could add a player like Jarrett Culver or DeAndre Hunter or even Darius Garland. But after listing those names, it's probably better for them to trade that pick and try and get someone else. The Pelicans get 2 future Laker picks and pick swaps too. Ramona Shelburne says that the Pelicans basically control the Lakers draft for the next 7 years. And Tim Bontemps confirmed the protections and swaps on the Lakers' future picks. So the Pelicans are basically getting the number 4 pick in this draft, a top 8 protected pick in 2021, and an unprotected pick in 2024. Plus, the Pelicans can swap picks with the Lakers in 2023 and in 2025 if their pick lands higher in the lottery. In 2025, LeBron will be 40 years old. Anthony Davis will be 32, but that's 6 years away. Anything can happen. All in all, it was a decent haul for the Pelicans. I wouldn't say it was a massive haul or that the Pelicans fleeced the Lakers or anything like that, but for the position that David Griffin and the Pelicans were in, it was a good trade. Anthony Davis only had 1 year left on his deal, so whatever team traded for him may only have gotten him for that 1 season, which could end like Kawhi's season with the Raptors, or they could trade for him and lose him for nothing in a year. It was a big risk. Now the Pelicans begin the Zion era with some young talent around him, an established vet in Drew Holiday, and a ton of draft assets to make moves or take more players. For the Lakers, they finally pair LeBron with that 2nd star he's desperately wanted. And sadly, now that Durant and Klay Thompson are both out for most of next season, the NBA landscape is as wide open as it's been since maybe before LeBron joined the Heat. And the Lakers can still add a 3rd star that could move them into that super team spot that the Warriors and Heat had filled for years. According to Bobby Marks, the question now comes down to how LA times the trade. The Lakers can use cap space as a buffer first, or wait 30 days and have the salaries match up. Waiting would preserve cap flexibility to use $32.5 million in room. The Lakers will either have $27.8 million in room or that $32.5 million in room after the deal. All of it depends on the timing and if Davis waives his $4 million trade bonus. And according to Mark Stein, Kemba Walker is their top target, but they could also go after Jimmy Butler or Kyrie Irving or even Kawhi Leonard. In the deal, the Lakers managed to keep Kyle Kuzma, which some people will laugh at, but there were reports in February that the Lakers offered Ingram, Ball, Kuzma, Hart, and all the picks. So at least they got to keep one of those 5. Maybe it was because their pick jumped from 11 to 4, or because Boston never offered Tatum, or because apparently the Clippers never offered Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But even though they kept Kuzma, the Lakers are going all in right now, right this minute. Some people might look at the assets they traded for AD and think that it isn't much, but for the Lakers, it is a ton. Lonzo and Ingram were both number 2 picks that the Lakers sucked for an entire year to get. Hart was another first-round pick that the Lakers nailed, and like Ramona said, the Pelicans now control the Lakers draft for the next 7 years. LeBron is only under contract for 2 more seasons and then has a player option for a 3rd, and he's going to be 35 years old in December. The Lakers needed to move now and come up with someone this summer. They couldn't just run it back and waste another year of LeBron in hopes of signing AD next summer. Anthony Davis is only 26, and he has an incredible future ahead of him, but the Lakers leveraged their entire future to pair him with LeBron this season. All reports indicate that they'll be able to re-sign him this summer, but in 12 months, the NBA could look a lot different. It certainly looks different right now than it did last year at this time. Comment below, if the Lakers had to pick between Kemba Walker, Kyrie Irving, and Jimmy Butler, who should they add to pair next to LeBron and AD in free agency?